I'm Christine, 68. The phone rings, and I know it's my daughter, Ava. Exactly 3 weeks have passed since that fateful day at the lawyer's office. I take a deep breath and answer, "Hello, Ava." Her voice comes through the line, a mix of ice and fire. "What the hell did you do?" "The Cape Cod property isn't in the estate paperwork." I set down my tea, surprised at how steady my hand is. Box 14C. I checked it, and the property was always mine. Your father, Henry, left it to me specifically, separate from the estate. She's practically screaming now, accusing me of theft, but her words don't wound me like they would have before. As I sit here, waiting for her and her husband, Ryan, to arrive, my mind drifts back to the events that led to this moment. Henry and I had a beautiful life together. We built our family in a cozy suburban house, filled with love and memories. But when Henry was diagnosed with terminal cancer 5 years ago, our world turned upside down. He fought bravely for 10 months, but in the end, he lost the battle. Before he passed, he held my hand and Ava's and made us promise to take care of each other. At that time, Ava was pregnant with their son, Leo. She and Ryan were just starting their careers and were overwhelmed. It seemed natural for me to move in with them to help with the baby. I sold my small apartment without hesitation. I thought it was the right thing to do for my family. The first few years with Leo were a blur of joy. I took care of him like he was my own child, feeding him, changing his diapers, and watching him take his first steps. But as the years passed, things started to change. Ava's requests became demands. Ryan, who was once grateful for my help, started to take me for granted. I was no longer seen as a mother or a grandmother, but as a live-in helper. There was a time when Ava introduced me to her colleagues as the lady who helps with Leo, not as her mother. That hurt deeply, but I tried to ignore it, thinking it was just a momentary oversight. One day, Ava called me to the lawyer's office to sign some papers. When I arrived, I could sense something was off. The way she and Ryan looked at me, the coldness in their eyes, it was like they were strangers. They told me it was just a formality to finalize Henry's estate, but I knew there was more to it. When Ryan slid the papers towards me and told me to sign where the tabs were, I hesitated. I asked what I was signing away, but Ava just sighed and said it was all just formalities. I knew they had been discussing financial matters behind my back since Henry's death, but I didn't have the strength to fight them. So I signed the papers, but not before making a small change. I checked box 14C, a small act of self-preservation that they missed. After I signed, Ava said those words that cut me like a knife. "You're not family. You just stayed because it was convenient for all of us." I left the office in silence, my heart broken. I moved into a small motel, feeling lost and alone. But then, I found Henry's journal. In it, I discovered that he had known about Ava's plans to discard me long before I did. He had arranged for the Cape Cod property to be mine, a secret sanctuary for me in case things went wrong. It was his way of protecting me. As I'm pulled back to the present by the sound of a car pulling into the driveway, I know that this is a turning point. I'm ready to face Ava and Ryan, to stand up for myself and what's rightfully mine. The doorbell rings, and I take a deep breath. It's time. Ava and Ryan enter the room. Ava is wearing her power suit, her eyes cold and angry. Ryan looks uncomfortable, shifting from one foot to the other. Ava wastes no time. "You deliberately withheld the Cape property from the estate division. It's not fair." I look at her steadily. "The Cape house was never part of the estate. Your father made sure of it. He saw how you were treating me even before he died." Ryan tries to reason with me, suggesting we sell the property and divide the proceeds, but I'm firm. "Is it fair that I sold my apartment to help you? That I spent years taking care of Leo while you built your careers? That you treated me like a servant?" Ava starts to pace the room, her heels clicking on the floor. "You're being petty. We asked you to move out because it was time." I interrupt her. "You didn't ask. You told me I wasn't family. And you've been planning to sell the house I lived in for years to make a profit from the land, haven't you?" Ryan looks away, ashamed. Ava's face turns red with anger, but before she can say anything, We hear Leo's laughter outside. Through the window, we see him riding his bike in the yard with an old friend of Henry's, Mr. Thompson. Ava stands up abruptly. You've been seeing Leo behind our backs. I explain that it's the first time I've seen him since I left. Ava moves to the window, watching her son play. For a moment, her expression softens. He cries for you every night. I take a deep breath. I love him, Ava. That's why I helped you all these years. But I also need to take care of myself. The Cape House is my security, just as your father intended. A few weeks later, Ryan calls me. He's in Cape Cod for a business conference and wants to talk. We meet at a local coffee shop. He looks tired and remorseful. He apologizes for how they treated me and tells me that Leo misses me terribly. He also reveals that Ava has been different since Henry's death. She's become cold and calculating, not just towards me, but towards everyone. He tells me that she's been in talks with developers to sell the land where our old house stands for over a year, and that's why she was so eager to get me into a retirement home. I'm shocked by this revelation, but I'm also not entirely surprised. Ryan asks if I'd be willing to see Leo again, and I say yes without hesitation. A few months later, on a cold December morning, the doorbell rings. Through the window, I see Ryan's car in the driveway, filled with suitcases and boxes. Leo is bouncing excitedly beside it. Ryan says simply, "We left. For good this time." I look at them, and I know that this is a new beginning. I open the door wider and welcome them in. The Cape Cod house, which was once just a place of refuge, is now becoming a home filled with love and second chances. Now, as I sit here with Leo on my lap, watching the waves crash against the shore, I can't help but feel a sense of hope. The future is uncertain, but I know that I have the strength to face whatever comes my way. And I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned, for the love that remains, and for the possibility of a brighter tomorrow.